Hello everyone, as always, I'm Vlad Shoots History. And this is not a Beretta 92S as you can see from the title. Funny thing. When I film at the range, I often film more than one weapon in a day, but I don't film them, so to speak, back to back. It's not like I do the history, mechanics and fire test of one weapon and then start with another. No, I do the history of all, the mechanics of all, and the fire test of all. And in this chaos, I forgot to do the history of the Beretta, imagine, but the history is perhaps the part I can do at home. Luckily, I did the disassembly and the fire test. As you will see, by the end of the 70s, the Italian army and many police units needed to modernize. The Italian army still uses the old 34 berets in short caliber 9, the Beretta 1951 in 9mm. It was never adopted by the Italian army, it was adopted by the navy, it was adopted by the carabinieri, it was adopted, for example, by the Guardia di Finanza, but not by the army. The Beretta strongly resumes the lines already tested previously. In particular, it modernizes and modifies the Beretta 51. The Beretta 51 itself derives from another pistol, you will see it well while I disassemble, or the P38 is the same that derives from the Mauser C96. The original Beretta doesn't quite seem like a Beretta, yet it has some things like, for example, the safety that is in a position like that of the Colt 1911. At the request of the Italian army, the safety is modified. The safety, which previously simply prevented the weapon from firing, now becomes a hammer safety, as present in the Walther P38. If the hammer is cocked and the weapon is put on safety, the hammer is safely lowered by disarming the safety. We will have a long double-action trigger pull, after which the pistol, completing its cycle, will recock the hammer, which this time will present a single-action trigger pull. This is exactly what we're going to look at. It's the Beretta 92S, where S stands for safety. It's the second version of the Beretta after the 92 standard. However, the second version will be adopted by the Army. In fact, many copies were circulating in the Army. There are many post-Army copies in circulation, also because the Army, then modernizing again, bought the FS. And it is also a model very present in some police departments. However, it has different characteristics from the most famous Beretta FSS. So let's go with the video that I filmed to see what these differences are and how it works. A Beretta Series 90, the Beretta. You should know that it's a weapon that I particularly love, so I have quite a bit of enthusiasm in handling and talking about it. Perhaps it's my absolute favorite 3/8 of an inch pistol, because it has a whole series of features that are really desirable. This, as we've said, however, is a 92S. Yes, practically all the features we know of the Beretta are present in these pistols, but not all. Most of the differences are on the other side. A first, quite obvious difference we notice is in the safety and how the safety is in its shape. The first Berettas, the Beretta 92S, without anything, had a completely different safety. It was a safety mounted not on the slide, on the carriage, but in the structure of the weapon. While the big difference of the Beretta 92S, where S stands for safety, is in fact the positioning of the safety on the carriage. It was a change requested by some police forces who were considering the adoption of this semi-automatic pistol, and among other things, the Beretta 92S will be adopted by several police forces also in Italy. So when you see many police officers with a Beretta that seems to be a 92S, in many cases it is actually a 92S. The most glaring difference, as we have seen, is the safety, which obviously works as a safety catch that will be taken directly from the Walther P38 also because it works in the same identical way. The weapon is double single action, that is, if I press the trigger it will fire, but if the weapon, the trigger is armed. The weapon recocks the hammer with each firing cycle due to the slide cycling. I have a very short run, a very light first run, then a very light snap of the pistol. There are those who do not like this type of trigger, there are those who do. The downside of this trigger is that it provides two distinct sensations. The double action one, which is very long, and the single action one, which is quite short. So often to properly use a Beretta, if you also own a Beretta, whatever it is, not necessarily the 92S, you should practice with these two types of shots. Obviously the safety is also a hammer drop. If I go to operate it, the hammer is safely dropped. The weapon can thus be carried safely or even taken off safety. It can be put back in the holster. And in this way, the first shot we have to pull is with a lot of force and very deliberate. It's a bit absurd. The same safety that is used in weapons like the Glock, which don't have a safety but have a pretty hard trigger. So it's entirely sufficient. It may seem like an unsafe thing, but it's not. There are advantages to carrying the weapon with a round in the barrel. In many nations, especially in Europe, this is often not done. If I understand correctly here, who is maybe in the police or relatives of the police, confirm me, but the Italian police do not carry weapons with a round in the barrel. The other very noticeable feature is the position of the magazine release and the magazine itself. Anyone who has a Beretta 98S knows very well that the magazine release is here near the trigger, like a good part of modern semi-automatics. While this position, the trigger release, is a bit of an anachronism, a very modern gun, and in this position it was done before the Second World War, it's a typical magazine release position for many European weapons. This is a feature that comes directly from the Beretta 1951. The Beretta 92 derives from the Beretta 51, and one of the features it brought with it is the position of the magazine release. What's the logic of putting it here? It's that, especially for civilian or police use, I have to use both hands to remove the magazine. What do I mean? If I had it here, I could simply press the release with my thumb and let the magazine free. Well, magazines cost. They get damaged when they fall to the ground. It can happen, so I can't in any way actually reach to put it like this to reach the release button with one hand. No, I must necessarily take the other hand, which of course goes to press the trigger and so on, have the magazine in hand. This way, money is saved on destroyed magazines. This system has its rationale precisely to preserve the magazines the system, we could say American, started with, for example, the Colt 1911. To put the release near the trigger, it's superior because I can do both things in an emergency situation. I can reload very quickly simply by releasing the magazine that will fall away freely and inserting another one. While I can do it perfectly well with two hands, that is, I press the button and the magazine comes out. It's simply a matter of versatility and convenience. Anyway, the Beretta 92S has the release here, so the next time you see them, you'll be able to tell them apart. The magazines are not all interchangeable. Here, the Beretta S magazine has a notch precisely because it is held by the magazine release, while this notch in the Beretta FS is present here above, where precisely then there will be the magazine release lever. There are many magazines in circulation that have both notches, both below and above, to allow use in both weapon models. Because, apart from this notch, the magazines are identical and therefore not necessarily interchangeable, precisely because of this notch we have seen. So, in how to distinguish a Beretta 92S from the more popular Fs, there are other differences, especially internal ones, particularly in the back. In the firing group, the shape of several elements changes. The Fs is much safer. If there was a break in the S, for example, the slide could go back and fly in our face. The Fs avoids this. That is a particular game of shapes, and the slide is held much more securely inside. This was exactly what was requested by the American Army for the M9 pistol tests. Then won by the Beretta FS, which, by the way, was not the first Beretta adopted by the United States, but there was the SB adopted by the American Air Force. Mechanically speaking, the Beretta Series 90 derives from the Beretta 51 that we mentioned, which in turn derives from the Walther P38, which in turn derives from the Mauser C96. A good part of modern pistols actually all derive from a few pistols of the past. The vast majority derive from the Colt 1911. Well, even if there were models before, let's say from the Colt 1911. Many others, however, models that use a swinging block for closure, like the Beretta, like the Walther P38, like the Beretta 51, they all derive from the Mauser C96, which is the first to do this thing. Disassembling a Beretta 92S is like disassembling a Beretta FS, that is, we remove the magazine from this side or this button, pressing it and turning this lever. The slide comes out. Now we put 4 pieces. I can proceed with the disassembly by removing the recoil spring. I can now move the barrel forward inside, which will drop down, separate the slide with the bolt. Here it is, the bolt and the barrel with its locking block. The locking block that reminds us in every way. That of the Walther P38, because, I repeat, this pistol derives from the Walther P38. The weapon works with the short recoil system. I put the barrel back together with the slide. How does it work? We have inside the weapon some inclined surfaces. You can see them here. As you can see at this moment, I can't separate the barrel from the breech because this block is raised. You see it lowered, but you see that it doesn't stick out from below. The weapon's recoil causes the block with inclined surfaces to lower, which can be seen sticking out from below. The recoil. The surfaces press it down, and at this moment the barrel can separate from the breech. When it comes forward, the weapon closes and the surfaces force this locking block up. And again, the two parts cannot separate. It's a beautiful system and it's very simple. It has the advantage that everything happens in line, which greatly helps with the reliability of the feed, and it helps. For example, if the weapon has accessories like silencers, since there are no oscillating elements like, for example, in a Browning weapon, everything is much more reliable for the weapon. Reassembling it is as simple as disassembling it. We have already put the barrel back in the slide. We can put the spring back and simply slide it. There's a bit of pressure in the spring. I push it slightly, it helps me hold it. With the other hand, I can turn this locking block and the weapon is ready for use. Among other things, interestingly, I was always taught to load the Beretta this way as I load other semi-automatics. But I find that the fact that this slide is cut and the barrel is exposed, I often find it very difficult to grasp. And I'm convinced that the best way I've seen it done on various occasions to load a Beretta is to take it here. Where are these surfaces? Sure, many will say that it's not smart to bring your hands close to the barrel, but done carefully, in my opinion, it's much easier than grabbing it. There's a risk that your hand will go into the barrel here. It's much simpler and safer to do it this way. A little detail on how I load the Beretta. Here we are with the Beretta 92S in use. Apart from the magazine release, it's like a Beretta 92FS. It's a weapon that I really like. So rather than showing you how it fires, I wanted to show you the difference between double and single action. We can go load it, of course. And now, by engaging the safety, the hammer is safely lowered. Now the weapon is loaded, but with a long double action trigger pull. Now you can do one thing. If you have a Beretta, you can re-engage the safety by hitting the hammer. Remove it again and again. Train yourself for the double action trigger pull, which is very hard. And that again. Let's knock down the hammer, remove the safety, and try the trigger pull again. Same thing. Obviously, the weapon stays open after I've finished the rounds. It's nice smoking. I can, like in a normal Beretta, press the hold open and it closes on me. Let's see if it's really unloaded. It is. Great thing. The Beretta remains absolutely one of my favorite pistols of all time. It has just the right weight to be well controlled in 3/8 of an inch. It has the controls where it should have. The FS, not so much the S, which has this quite strange magazine release. The only thing I've noticed in this Beretta 92S is that the sights are much harder to see than a normal FSC. The FS has sights that are a bit higher and a bit more visible. Thank you very much.